Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time of the day it is your boys at the Yellow Card Podcast presenting you with episode 71 of the Yellow Card Podcast. With me as always, Chris Jones, your host, Diego Galvez. Just a reminder, our podcast is presented to you by Couch Guy Sports Network and sponsored by our good friends over at Shocked Energy, which Chris is wearing merchandise from them, as well as Exo Gun. If you ever feel tired, out of focus, and just need a boost of energy, make sure to check out shockedenergy.com. Use the code CGSN for 10% off of your order today. Try out that watermelon flavor and that green apple flavor box. Absolute fire flavors that they got going on over there. And on Exo Gun, if you ever just need a massage at a moment's notice and, at the comfort of your own home, check out exogun.com. CGS10 gets you 10% off of your order today. 10% off on a $170 massage gun goes a long way. Shipping is free, making sure that you're taking care of yourself today. Episode 71, starting right away. Got a lot to talk about. One of the biggest tournaments of the year, the Champions League, is finally back in action. We saw some action today as well. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Got Premier League action going on as well, and Europa League should be starting as well tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow, Thursday, February 17th, as we record on Wednesday, February 16th at about 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, Chris, let's get this started. Let's get talking about the Champions League. I know we have a lot to talk about here. Let's do some recap and let's see how we did predictions wise.
Yes, sir. So a little bit of rough patch for both of us. I went 2-2. You went 1-3.
Wow.
So I was very close to a 3-1. That draw from PSG Madrid looked so good the entire way until Kylian Mbappe in stoppage time gets the only goal of the match. PSG wins the first leg 1-0. You had Real Madrid winning in that one. We both had City winning, but we didn't see in this dominant of fashion. City putting up a 5 spot against Sporting at Sporting, winning 5-0, basically kind of already clinching their spot in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. And then today we had two, one of them that really wasn't a surprise, but we saw how close both of these sides were playing with one another. But Liverpool ended up getting the win 2-0. I had them winning 2-1. You had them drawing to Inter 2-2. And then maybe the surprise of the round of 16 for the first slate of games, RB Salzburg drawing with Bayern Munich 1-1. Both you and I had Bayern Munich winning. We had Salzburg playing them tough. We didn't think they'd be playing them this tough, but here we are. And right now we're sitting at, for this coming, I'm now 56-44, 56%. Diego's 50-50. He's a 50-50 boy, if you ask me.
Well, I mean, I'm above water at 500, so that's good. But damn. God damn.
It's just...
This is one of the toughest
you
Champions
and I literally
leagues.
automatically thought we had 2 wins. You and I literally thought we had 2 wins automatically in City and Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
I was convinced Liverpool would win. I thought Inter would play a lot tougher than they looked today, especially at home. Liverpool kind of quieted them down real quick in the second half when Firmino scored that goal in the 75th.
Yeah.
And then Salah less than 10 minutes later to make it 2-0. But other than that, I mean, the surprise of the Champions League definitely has to be RB Salzburg at Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
But the great moment of the first slate of games for the round of 16 has to be the Mbappe goal in stoppage time.
I would agree with that. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that game was probably as even as it could have ever been. I'd never seen a more down the middle game than that. Like that was insane.
Also, too, a big thing that people don't talk about is Thibaut Courtois saved Lionel Messi's penalty, which was huge momentum for Real Madrid. Real Madrid was pushing, and then literally in stoppage time, Mbappe on the wing made one good move, got an opening between 2 Real Madrid defenders, and Courtois just couldn't get to it.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, that's how it ends up. But with that being said, any other takeaways from this first slate of games? Like, do we think RB Salzburg has a legit chance of moving on?
No. I mean, I think what happened at Salzburg, obviously the home field part of things, obviously it's a huge advantage for them. Their fan base tends to be pretty loud in these games. So obviously that was a huge advantage. Being at the comfort of home as well plays into effect here. I think for Bayern, they probably came in a little too confident and were slapped by that surprise, but it happens. It happens. So I don't expect that on the away game, especially at Alliance Arena, that Bayern would fall behind and fall asleep on their laurels. I don't expect that. We've never seen them do that in the past decade that they've been so dominant. I wouldn't expect that. But not to discredit Salzburg, they looked really, really good down the middle and defensively. They really showed what they're capable of defensively. And this is one of those teams where, when you look at transfer windows, right? Like January transfer window and the summer deadline, like this is one of the very first teams that when people are trying to build their defense, they look at what if it's Salzburg, if it's Leipzig, if it's any of those teams like that, maybe even Wolfsburg or some of the Italian teams that have strong defenses, those are the teams that are being looked at for rebuild. So good, go to Salzburg. Other than that, I got nothing else to add on there.
I mean, Salzburg had a legitimate chance of winning until Kingsley Coman scored in the 90th minute.
Yeah.
So again, both of these games, PSG and Real Madrid coming down to the final minutes. But I think a big takeaway is the EPL is as strong as ever, as both teams that played not only won on the road, but they won by multiple goals and didn't give up any.
Yeah, I mean, I think the other takeaway here to say, I think it's obvious at this point, is millennials out there who are used to having Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo be your all-time changers of the game. It's time to move away from that because both of these guys are showing a huge drop-off in their levels. I haven't seen Cristiano Ronaldo be the same Cristiano Ronaldo that he once was with Real Madrid. He hasn't been it. He was a little bit for Juventus and he faded away. He was a little bit here at United and he's fading away quickly. Messi, we knew it. The minute that he was going to be changed over to a new team, if he wasn't in his own element, he was never going to be the same guy. And it's proving, again, that without key factors in his game, he's not capable of producing what he's capable of producing. In Barcelona, the thing was previously, without Iniesta, he wouldn't have been made. Without Ronaldinho, he wouldn't have been made. It's kind of proven to be true. When these guys kind of faded away in their careers, they were able to be who they were without the help of anybody else. I think at this point right now, it's showing that, it's that. So that's my only takeaway at this point.
All right. Want to move into the second slate that's going to happen next week?
Sure. Let's do that.
Start off with the Tuesday slate. Villarreal hosting Juventus. What are your thoughts? This is going to be a spicy one.
This is a spicy one because Villarreal is really good offensively. They have what it takes to cause problems for Juventus' defense. But Juventus, in the meantime, though, are very good and creative in the middle. Their problem, though, is sealing the deal when it comes to offensively being capable of doing so. I'm going to give this one to Villarreal simply because of the home advantage. I'm going to go 2-1.
It's funny. When I originally wrote this out earlier, I was riding Juventus just because of how hot they've been in the Champions League format and stuff like that. But specifically for the reason that you said, Villarreal and the home experience, I'm taking a 1-1 draw instead.
Okay.
I think both teams are going to play tough. I think it's really going to have to come down to the second leg in Turin, but I think 1-1 draw in Villarreal for sure.
I think, and statistically speaking, like this game is going to be very much like PSG and Real Madrid were. I think it's going to be very even when it comes to ball possession and chances up front. But again, Villarreal could literally change the chapter here with just a couple of rotational moves that they could make.
Mm-hmm. All right, next one we got Chelsea hosting Lille.
All right, so Chelsea versus Los Lille. Giving this one to Chelsea, and I'm gonna go 2-0 Chelsea simply because of how good Edouard Mendy has been in the back of the net for them. Not to say that Lau can't create chances. It's just Mendy has been a wall for them, and that's where they can go away with the blank sheet.
I just think Lille was a little bit lucky to get to this spot. So I think Chelsea's going to humble them at home. I think Chelsea went to at least 3-0.
I would agree with that. I think Lau was absolutely lucky to get here. Absolutely. I agree.
Next one, we got Benfica and Ajax at Benfica.
I hate to say it, but while Benfica has the home advantage, Ajax is just a complete different animal at this point. I'm saying 3-1 Ajax.
Ooh, I think they keep it a little bit close. I think it's going to remind me a little bit of the Liverpool-Inter Milan game today. I think Ajax pulls away, but I think Ajax wins 2-0.
Okay.
All right. Next one, the last one, I should say. Atletico hosting Manchester United. I'll go first here.
Okay. Of course, you go first. So,
well, we did the same last week. I realistically, in my heart, I said at the beginning of the year, Manchester United was going to win the Champions League. I still, in my right mind, believe that. I just think this game is going to be very tough for them in Madrid. So, with that being said, I don't think Atletico is going to win. I don't think United is going to win. I think we're in a 1-1 draw here. I think Atletico scores early, and then Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford come in late and get that 1-1 draw.
Okay.
Because I would consider a draw very much so a win for Manchester United at Atletico as well.
All right. I like it. This one's tough, though, because you're right. It's in Madrid. It's in the Wanda Metropolitano. It's a whole different atmosphere. I don't know how ready Rangnick is for this type of atmosphere. And just seeing how bad this team played against Southampton to just get a 1-1 tie, like that really annoyed me. I think a tie here is realistic. And I think I would agree with you with a 1-1 draw.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Nice and simple. Okay. That's it for Champions League talk. After this next set of games, the second leg takes place, starts March 8th. So you're going to want to stay on the lookout for that. Europa League, we talked upon last week. Just to give you a recap of what we think the scores are going to look like. I have Dortmund 4-1, Real Betis 2-1, Barcelona 2-1. I have a draw between Sheriff and who are they playing? Jesus, I'm drawing a blank. So I have a draw in the Sheriff game. I have Leipzig beating Real Sociedad 2-0. I have Porto 2-1, Atalanta 3-1, and Sevilla 1-0. Diego has a draw in the Dortmund game. Real Betis winning 2-1, Barcelona winning 2-1, Sheriff winning 2-1, Real Sociedad winning 2-1, FC Porto winning 3-1, Atalanta winning 2-0, and Sevilla winning 3-0.
Okay.
So that's Europa League. Stay tuned because leg one happening the day after we record, but by the time this episode comes out, it might have already happened. So
yeah, or it might be already happening. So. But all right, let's move on to our next topic of the night, which let's talk about the English Premier League because we got a decent slate for this weekend coming up. So, Chris, take us on.
So I was looking at it, and then all of a sudden I saw Manchester United getting charged by FA over player behavior versus Brighton.
Huh. What happened now? I'm surprised we won that game, just so you know. Surprised that Cristiano Ronaldo scored finally.
So what happened was United's players were in an uproar and referee Peter Banks initially handed Brighton defender Lewis Dunk only a yellow card after he grabbed Anthony Elanga's shoulder and dragged him back at the 53rd minute. So the United players surrounded Banks, with goal scorer Bruno Fernandes earning a yellow card for his protests. Banks was advised to review the decision by the VAR and changed Dunk's yellow to a straight red. After watching a replay on the pitch time monitor, it basically says FA has told United they have until Monday to respond to the charge. So basically what happened was it looks like the players didn't conduct themselves in an orderly fashion when it came to this foul call. And basically they feel like United kind of worked their way to getting him to go check to get his yellow card turned to a red.
I think at this point it's just kind of silly to have him be charged at this point. You don't, this is a situation that drives me nuts. And it's not because it's United. If this was Liverpool, Manchester City, Arsenal, Leicester, whoever, this would also drive me nuts. You don't advise the referee on the pitch to go look at the VAR unless you're 100% sure that you need an additional opinion on how the call was made. If the initial call was to give this gentleman a yellow card, right? Then why go to the VAR? If VAR is telling you may want to take a look at this because something further happened, that's when you issue your red card if you really need to issue the red card. At that point, neither team should be responsible at that point for whatever the referee decided to call at that point. Now, I will say if Fernandes in this case scenario had put his hands on the referee or had done something that's out of the line of respect towards the referee, that's where I could say United should be getting charged and should have until a certain day to respond to that charge. At this point, there was no aggression from the parties involved. VAR basically now being an authority kind of gave the ruling that, hey, go look at this because there's something deeper that went on and you may want to revise your decision. That's what VAR is there for. You're supposed to be an advisor onto the game. That at this point, having an additional charge, that's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous, but that's just me. But let's carry on. We have a good slate coming up this weekend for the Premier League. Yeah. So let's get this started.
Hold on, I got breaking news from our friend of the podcast, Diego. I don't want to say his last name wrong.
Montalvan?
Yeah. So apparently, Fever has announced that all CONMEBOL qualifying matches that take place on March 24th and the 29th will be played simultaneously at 6:30 Eastern.
Oh, Jesus. That's a deathly hour.
So the 24th and 29th, if you're a CONMEBOL fan and you're watching and you're hoping your team qualifies, guess what? All the games take place at the same time.
That's like 4 games happening at the same time. Whoo. Talking about cashing in big time.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move on. Sorry.
I like the breaking news. I like it. We don't often get breaking news in here.
It came on the headset. I had to say it.
Sure. No. Got it.
But so real quick to touch upon last week's slate of games. Liverpool gets the job done. They didn't disappoint against Burnley. They didn't disappoint against Leicester. Both 2 wins, 6 points, but working their way back up to contend still for the Premier League title. West Ham misses an opportunity to take multiple points from Leicester, but they also saved themselves by getting points with that draw from this past weekend. Southampton and played United tough, and they beat Tottenham, so they're on a little bit of a hot streak right now. Wolves beat Tottenham. Tottenham slowly working their way back down. That's 3 straight losses for Antonio Conte. He needs to get that team back in track. And then obviously United beating Brighton this past Tuesday. But the slate so far, so this Saturday we have West Ham and Newcastle, which is a big game for two reasons. One, West Ham is still looking to stay in the top four. They desperately need to win. United's hot right now in the Premier League. They're getting points left and right. They need to contend here. And Newcastle has won 3 straight Premier League.
Good.
They haven't
fucking good.
they're undefeated in their last 4, including a draw. So on the road, it should be fun to see, but this is a big game for both sides. Arsenal and Brentford. Brentford's been a little bit of a downtrend as of late. They got a point in their last matchup, which they didn't do the previous one before that. But Arsenal desperately needs another win. Aston Villa and Watford. Watford just looks like they're destined for relegation again. And Aston Villa has not looked good in 4 out of their last 5, as they're 1-2-2 in those. Brighton and Burnley. Brighton, again, another one of those teams that have struggled. They've only won 1 out of their last 5. Burnley hasn't won any games in their last 5, so some team is due. Crystal Palace hosting Chelsea. I think Chelsea's, I hate to say it, I think this is a Crystal Palace steal spot. I think Crystal Palace steals points from Chelsea here. I think at least a draw, Crystal Palace maybe with a potential upset, depending on the ramifications of this. Liverpool hosting Norwich. I think Liverpool has things in the bag, but it's at Anfield, so you gotta hope and pray. Southampton Everton. I think this is going to be a fantastic game. Mm-hmm. Southampton hasn't lost a match in their last 4, and Everton now with this full squad looks fantastic. I'm curious to see how the midfield game for both sides plays. Okay. City and Tottenham. Tottenham's been on a downtrend. They've lost 3 out of their last 4. City's just continuing to rack up points in the Premier League here, left and right. So that's the Saturday slate. And then Sunday, Leeds hosting Manchester United. Leeds has been a little bit better as of late, but they're still a little shaky in my opinion. United, again, will have that game right before going up against Atletico Madrid, so it could be a look-ahead spot for them. So be on the lookout for that. And then Wolves hosting Leicester City. Wolves has won 3 out of their last 5. Leicester is winless in their last 5 as well. So they desperately need something to get back on track. And Wolves is contending for top 6. So both sides, it's a jam-packed slate this weekend.
It is.
Definitely exciting to be a soccer fan now, especially with, if you're looking at it in a world of sports perspective, you don't have any more football on Sundays or Saturdays. So that slate's wide open for soccer to take over. And that's exactly what it's going to do, especially in the Premier League.
And what's most interesting about this, too, is looking at the table right now, Manchester City's clear ahead of everyone else. Not super clear because they're still only 9 points ahead of Liverpool, and anything can happen. Absolutely anything can happen. But when you look from 2nd to 5th place, it's anybody's game. 2nd place right now is Liverpool at 54 points. They're ahead of Chelsea by 7 points, but again, they could lose 2 games very easily here. Chelsea only ahead of Manchester United by 4 points. That right there should be a red alert because we've seen this happen to Tuchel before. When he was a PSG, he had a decent lead, but unfortunately, results were not turning for him. It seems like results are not turning for Chelsea as of late. This could very well, I agree with Chris. I think Crystal Palace could easily come in here and upset. This could very well happen. If that is the case, and Manchester United manages to get a win, there would only be 1 point away or 2 at best from Chelsea. That right there should be alarming because it seems like the Rangnick system is finally starting to come to fruition to Manchester United. Granted, it has been very aggravating for United because majority of these games have ended either in a tie or loss, in a tie or win. But since Rangnick has taken over, they're really not that bad. There really hasn't been a bad team at all.
Can I give you guys a little bit of credit here? One aspect with all of the turmoil and all of the things that have changed for you guys as well. Just to throw this into perspective here, 5th in goals for in the Premier League still. That's impressive. with all the turmoil, all the moving pieces around. I think that's impressive to say the least.
Okay. Yeah. No, I agree with that. And then you got West Ham, Arsenal, and Wolves, which are all very close in that fifth place race. Wolves can easily go on a winning streak. West Ham can continue at this pace that they're going, which isn't all that great. Arsenal could go on a winning streak as well. So there's a lot of potential here for this table to change in the next 12 weeks that are left over, 12 to 13 weeks that are left over from this year's campaign in the Premier League. So there's a lot to go on. Another key factor that I do want to point out is the relegation race could literally change at any point here. Brentford has been dropping like crazy. Leeds has been dropping like crazy. Everton is still just threading lightly above water. And Newcastle needs to continue to do what they're doing in an effort to avoid that relegation race at all costs. So a lot happening here. Nobody's safe. Honestly, at this point, I would think that nobody is. Whether your goal is to be top 4 this year or avoid the bottom 3, nobody's safe at this point because it seems like everybody's cards are on the table and everybody's playing for that full house move. But going ahead, do we want to just give some predictions or what do we want to do Premier League wise, Chris?
Yeah, you want to do quick predictions real quick?
Sure, let's do a rapid fire round. Let's do it.
All right. Boom. Let me get back to it. Hold on 1 second. I got a little off topic. I was looking at the FA Cup. West Ham and Newcastle, first game.
All right. I'm going to go with the upset here. I actually think Newcastle manages to get the upset, and I'm going to go 2-1.
I'm going to go 1-1 draw.
Okay.
Arsenal, Brentford.
I actually think Arsenal manages to win. I'm going to say 1-0.
I'm going to go 2-0 based off the fact that Brentford embarrassed Arsenal beginning of the year at Brentford. I think Arsenal's got a little bit of revenge in mind.
Yeah.
Aston Villa and Watford.
Aston Villa and Watford. I think Aston Villa manages to get it done. It's going to be a 2-0 victory for Aston Villa.
Okay. I'm going 2-1. Villa. Brighton and Burnley.
Brighton wins this one. They've been good. I'm going 1-0.
I'm going Burnley upset 1-0.
Oh, okay.
Palace and Chelsea.
Going for the tie here. I'm going 1-1 draw.
I'm gonna go bold and say Palace wins 2-1.
Ooh, okay. All right, I like it.
Liverpool, Norwich.
This one's easy. Liverpool 3-0.
Let's say Liverpool 4-0. Southampton, Everton.
I'm going to give this one to Everton. I think Van der Beek will be a factor here. So I'm going to go 2-1 Everton.
Same score, Everton. I like it. I think Southampton's going to tie it. Like the 70th, Everton gets it in the last 5 minutes.
Yep. I think Van der Beek and Dele Alli would probably be that factor to the second goal.
City and Tottenham. It's at Ethiopia. That changes things.
Yeah, but Antonio Conte has managed to get Pep Guardiola's numbers before. I'm going with the City win, but not as easy as they think. I'm going 2-1.
I think Tottenham squeezes one out here. I think Tottenham wins 1-0.
Ooh, I like it. I like that.
Leeds and United.
United get the job done. 2-0.
Same score, same way. Man United 2-0. Wolves and Leicester.
I think a Leicester upset is coming. 2-1 Leicester.
Going Wolves 3-0. I think Wolves kills them.
Okay, I like it. All right.
Well, yeah, no, that's the Premier League this weekend. And then, excuse me, more matchups coming that way. And then the FA Cup comes back March 1st for the fifth round.
Yes, sir. All right. And then last but not least, we gave the recap, whatnot. So any final takes that we got whether it's Champions League, Premier League, Europa League, whatever, Bundesliga, La Liga, whatever.
It's gonna be fun. Trust me. Anything soccer related from now until the end of May, early June, you're gonna want to watch. So I would recommend.
All right. My final take here is Revolution fans. If you haven't checked out the new kits that the Revolution unleashed, I recommend you do. They look absolutely crisp and clean. Very well done job to the marketing team at Adidas and Revolution getting that job done. And frankly, I'm actually really excited for this Revolution team. The additions of Leglett, Josie Outdoor, the draft picks that we got. I think we got a good campaign coming up here. Don't lose that motivation just because of last year. That's all I got. And also,
lost the eventual champion.
Listen, if you're going to the tailgates this year, there's the potential you get to meet Becky G. I know I'm excited. And I'm just a DJ. What do I know? But with that said, episode 71 concludes here. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Make sure to check out CouchGuySports.com. Until next week, signing off, Diego Galvez, Chris Jones. Thank you all so much.
Peace.